It is 2019. Welcome back. We've made it out the other side of 2018, my fellow cynics. And you are listening to the greatest show ever so far in the history of podcasting for 2019. Again, I can't back up those claims because I actually haven't seen the figures for 2019. But as far as I know, this is the highest rated show of 2019. Take that with a huge grain of salt.
Here's to 2020.
Hey, yes, we're aiming for 20. Goddamn it, we already screwed up 2019. 2020's number one news show. We are your split screen cynics, and we're back. I am 1/3 of your hosting trio. My name is Berto, and joining me as always are my two homies, Garrett and Tim. Guys, how you doing?
Good so far. I'm happy holidays are over. Is that weird?
I mean,
they're busy.
Kind of. I mean, yeah, they are. They are. How were you guys' holidays, by the way? Happy New Year, fellas.
Oh, Happy New Year. Yeah. Happy New Year, everybody. I don't know. They're just busy. Whatever.
You guys get anything good for Christmas?
Things I need to get by. I'm sad today because today's the last day of my 2-week break that I got in between my jobs.
Oof.
Starting my new job tomorrow, which is exciting, but I'd rather stay at home.
Yeah, it's also work. Yeah, work stinks,
Yeah.
by the way.
It's like, yeah, who would want to go back after 2 weeks?
I know. I got so used to it.
It's so weird because like I don't. Just with my new schedule, I actually got like kind of a break for the holidays, sort of. But I still just worked same thing week to week. Like I didn't get any days off exactly. I just had weird holiday parties in between. So
it seemed like a break, but not really.
Yeah, it was just there was a lot of stuff going on. I don't know. They're fun. It's just a lot of stuff. I don't know. Oh, Berto, how was your holidays? I mean, we saw you right before. Basically Christmas Eve almost,
Yeah.
right? I think.
Yeah, we recorded a little bit before, like a couple of days before Christmas, because we dropped the episode on Christmas Day, so we recorded a few days before. But yeah, no, it was a good holiday. Spent it over with the in-laws. Good time was had by all. We got
Nice.
some awesome gifts. My wife got me the Majora's. You can't see it, and I can't take it down because it's
You
already
showed it
hung
to
up
us
on the
last
wall.
time. I remember. Yeah,
But
it was
yeah,
dope.
she got me that super awesome, art piece where it's made with like string and nails and stuff. It's super cool, and it's right here in my little studio nook, just looking at me. Kind of unnerving, but super awesome. Tim, get anything fun for Christmas?
I actually got this Night Solaire amiibo.
That's amazing.
Wow.
It's nice.
Wait, they actually made an amiibo for that?
Yeah.
because it's concurrent with the Dark Souls remaster release for Switch. It's pretty in terms of what it actually does. It's really lame. It gives you early access to the Praise the Sun emote, which if you've ever played Dark Souls, it's like really easy to get.
Yeah.
But it's cool. It's nice. Love the souls.
I actually remember looking for that amiibo because I saw a picture of it and I concluded it was fake. Like when
I was praying that I could add it as a character in Smash Bros. That would just be like a me character wearing like the.
Oh,
Night
that'd be
Soul.
amazing.
But
That would be
alas,
dope.
it is not the case.
Well, speaking of Smash Bros, what have you been playing, Tim? What you playing?
Yeah,
I
I like that segue.
just finished Breath of the Wild finally. Took my time played mostly with Tom, my friend, and we did a bajillion shrines and stuff. And by the time we got to the end, we were way too strong. So obviously it was really easy. But enjoyed the, just wandering around doing all the stuff that we could do. But just also finished unlocking all the characters in Smash Bros. I haven't done Spirit Mode yet. I'm not very good at the game, and I don't really have like a favorite character or anything yet. But it's fun just sticking around in it.
The melee skills don't translate.
Well, I'm just rusty in general. Like I didn't play Brawl or 4 very much, and I haven't played Melee since like college. So that's that. But other than that, I've been playing a ton of Counter-Strike because the new season's starting, I think next week, and
Dope.
just trying to get in playable shape. Early reports are it's going to be a long season.
That's
But,
right. Do you have like a set team yet of dudes, or because I know you're trying to do those 10v10 or 5v5s?
Yeah, we have like 3 to 4 like people who are going to be playing in every game, and then we have like a bunch of people who are, if they're around, they're going to play.
All right, well, if you're desperate, I'll try to sub in, I guess, but it won't go well. I'll tell you that much.
Hopefully it doesn't come to that. But
Oh wow, I'm
appreciate
offended.
it.
I'm so offended.
It's like, Garrett, I love you, but I hope we have a full squad.
Yeah, Berto, what have you been playing?
Splitting my time. Like Tim, I've been playing a lot of Smash also. But splitting my time between Smash and dipping back in every now and then to Red Dead Redemption 2. I suck also at Smash terribly. I unlocked all the characters some time ago already because that was like one of the first things I wanted to do was just get every character. So that was one of the first things I did, and then I started playing a lot of the single player spirit mode. What is it called? Like Spirit of Light, World of Light, or whatever
I
it's
think
called.
World of Light sounds right.
Yeah, so I've been playing a lot of that, and then also jumping into the spirit board because I want to get like all the cool, strong spirits. But the problem is, like the legend level spirits are super fucking hard, and the challenges that you have to do to get them are ridiculous. So you have, Dr. Wily is like a legend level spirit. He's like a top tier spirit, and it's like, okay, this is a stamina battle, and you have to beat 4 characters, and you have half life, and they're super strong, and you got 2 seconds to do it. Beat them, and I'm like, motherfucker, I can't.
Dude,
this is ridiculous.
Whatever spirit lets you start the match as metal is all you need for anything. You start the match as metal, and you just smash attack.
It is nuts. Like the one legend level spirit I have is Donkey Kong and Lady because they have they do like events, and this first event they're doing that's running until January 7th is like classic Nintendo characters and different types of spirits from like Excite Bike. You get Donkey Kong, Mario Brothers. So I got Donkey Kong and Lady, and the only reason I won that match is because the CPU, the computer controlled character, like literally fell off the board and couldn't get back on. And I'm like, dope. And like we both fell, but they fell first, and I was like a second later, so they lost before I did. And I'm like, all right, I got a legend level spirit.
Sometimes you just get lucky. You know what's funny about the spirit board? I don't have trouble like beating the fights, but the spinny thing, maybe I'm just getting old. Like I can't handle the spinny thing. I'll use you
got to use that shield spacer.
Like I'll use that and I'll still miss it, and I'll just sit there and be like, something's wrong with me. Like I can't actually do the spinny part. So
all right, so between you and I, we can get all the spirits because I'm dope at that.
Oh,
I
okay.
just suck at the actual like fighting part.
All right, if we team up, maybe we could.
We'll do this. We'll get all the legend level.
I think my
spirits.
Twitch
What I want is
synapses are going.
Because I know one of the spirits you can get, and he's a legend class spirit, is the Fierce Deity Link. And I know that because if you go to the summon spirits option, he's like one of the silhouettes you can see. And I'm like, I want that fucking spirit. But it's probably one of the hardest battles you have to do. It's going to make me want to rip my Switch in half. So
you always threaten to rip your Switch in half. You got to keep that thing away.
I'm a very violent person. When I lose in games, I want to throw my remote across the screen, but I don't. Celeste was the only game that I lost over 2,000 times and didn't make me want to do that. So shout out to Celeste for doing that. They did difficulty right. So what about you, Garrett? What have you been playing since Christmas time?
Definitely still on the Smash Bros thing. I don't see that like stopping anytime soon. I actually have a bunch of buddies, mostly fellow employees at Growlers, but a couple other friends that I know through Growlers. They all kind of are playing it. We've been playing some online arenas and stuff. I'm kind of addicted to the online mode because I like the try hardness of it. But I don't know.
Any good stories from people that have lost?
I don't know. I did beat a guy 22 times in a row, and I felt bad. Like I felt bad and left, so I did that. But other than that, I don't know. It's been like Kotaku put out an article about how everyone's using Wolf in tournaments, and like every other player is Wolf now, which is a nightmare because he kind of counters DDD pretty hard. But I'm now learning to play around him. So I don't know. Hopefully I'm closing in on 3 million GSP. I don't know what that means, but I'm in Elite Smash, so whatever.
I think that means global smash points. So you are smashing hard.
But nobody knows like what it means. Everyone thinks it's like you're better than that many players, but no one knows if that's true or not. So who knows? The other game I actually started, I'm probably, I would guess 3/4 of the way through, but I'm not entirely sure. Is Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice? I actually picked it up because I bought the Xbox Game Pass for like $1. They were running a sale it was like $1. And I think it actually has Celeste on it this month, if not, unless that's the arcade game Gold or whatever. I lose track of these things. So yeah, if you haven't played Celeste and you have an Xbox, definitely go for that. But it's kind of this, like, I don't think it's a AAA game. Like, it looks pretty good, but I think it was more like a AA kind of production. Like, I think it was a limited budget and stuff. You play as this, what I think is like a Scottish tribesman lady. I don't know, maybe Scottish. There's a lot of Viking stuff, but I think she like travels to Viking stuff. I don't know. Basically, she's nuts. She has, I believe, schizophrenia or something. There's people whispering to you, talking to you the whole time. She sees visions. She's super nuts with who knows what. And the game actually focuses heavily on the audio. Like, it's, if you have good headphones and surround sound and stuff, like, it's amazing. The gameplay itself has clever puzzles and cool imagery. The combat's kind of, I think, lacking a little bit. It's a little bit easy. But it's a really unique experience. And the way they tell the story is kind of cool because it's sort of mushed up, like, you don't really know what's real, you don't really know what's not. And the time period is all screwed up in her head. So really interesting game. Worth a playthrough, I would say. But I haven't finished it yet, so I don't have like a final thing on it. But I think I'm close, I would imagine.
All right, dope. Sounds dope. Yeah, I think what's the studio that makes it? I think that's by Ninja Theory, which is the studio behind the Devil May Cry reboot, the DMC, and a whole bunch. And now they're a Microsoft studio because they're one of the like millions of studios that Microsoft bought up. So
yeah, but it kind of hits that sweet spot of games for me where it's like, I want to say it's like probably between 7 to 12 hours. My guess is it's going to be right around 8, but who knows? And it's like it looks great, it sounds great, but it's not. It doesn't try too hard to do anything it's not. And there's not a lot of filler. Like, it tells the story at a good pace. And the puzzles are somewhat clever. So I kind of like that. I like short games because, I don't know, probably because of Red Dead or something. Like, all the games I've been playing recently have been massive. So yeah, decent game. Check it out if you got the Game Pass, I would say. I did play a little bit of Human Fall Flat. And I wasn't really that interested in it, to be honest. It's like a weird physics Unity puzzle game. Any game that starts and says it's made in Unity, I'm like, I never liked them. Is that weird?
I defeated that game.
Did you like that game? I thought it was so slow.
I enjoyed it, but I mean, I played it with someone else. Did you play multiplayer?
So that I've heard that multiplayer is way better.
I don't think I would have cared about it at all if I played it single player. But
that's how I kind of feel. Is like I got to find somebody to play it with. That's what I've been told.
But yeah. There's a technique where if you learn it too early, then you'll just ruin the
game. You told me you like broke the game, right?
Oh.
Don't learn my technique.
All right,
teach you it.
So I'm not gonna play with you.
Is it one of those things where you get like the Hadouken in Mega Man X and it just makes every boss a cakewalk?
Yeah, but you could theoretically start the game with it. It's just like
an advanced technique.
Necessarily know to do it.
I was wondering, I didn't remember if that was you who told me that, because a couple of people have played that game, and it was you, because I was like, isn't there some super technique that'll just break this game?
That just breaks the game completely.
Something about climbing or something, if I remember. I can't.
My only hint is it's called the Tornado.
It's called the Tornado. All right, good to know. Do you need 2 players to do it, or could you do it by yourself?
No, you can do it by yourself.
Oh, I'm going to try to figure it out then.
That sounds like a hell of a move, the Tornado.
Yeah, it's unstoppable.
It's unstoppable. All right. But yeah, I do think I've been told you need more than one person to really enjoy that game. Because in single player, it's just a very slow puzzle game with some goofy physics. So I don't know. I'm gonna try it more. I'm gonna give it another shot, maybe.
All right. So how about we pivot from what we've been playing into what's been going on, and by that I mean what hasn't been going on, because there's not really much news to talk about in the holiday season. Oh, before I do that, I even like put this in the show notes in caps. Forgot to. I was like, don't forget to do the housekeeping this time, and I forgot to do the housekeeping. I literally wrote that into the show notes before we started recording, and I totally forgot about that.
It's the only thing you wrote. That's fine. Berto will wing it,
only thing.
And then
like,
don't forget housekeeping.
He didn't write a script for the show. Bad Berto. Don't forget to do the housekeeping this time. Literally one line, and I forgot to do that. Happy New Year, everybody! It's 2019.
Welcome to 2019.
It's already going off the rails. You can find this show. I know I already 15 minutes in, and we're just doing the show notes. You can find us on every major podcasting platform that you get your podcast from. Go to Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher. I don't know, all
Spotify?
these other podcasting aggregating apps that pull the feeds from everywhere else. Go over there, listen to us, Split Screen Cynics, give us a rating, leave us a comment, and you could be in the running for 2019's Comment of the Year.
Comment of the
We
Year
had 2 winners
2019.
in 2018. Do you want to be the next winner? Do you want to get a cookie? You could be.
Yeah.
Leave us a comment.
Sometimes
No.
cookies are beers too, because that's
Cookie
what
and
Chuck's
beer
take.
is made with
So-
like wheat.
Did
So-
Confucius say that?
What's that?
Did Confucius say that? I think he did.
Wise man.
He was a
once
smart
said,
guy.
I
Wise
forget.
man once say, if you don't like cookie,
Sometimes
take beer.
Cookies are beer.
Sometimes cookies are beer.
Yeah. So listen, like, subscribe, leave a comment. Having got that out of the way, now we're back on track for 2019. Let's talk about the lack of news. So the first news item, I threw this on there because again, it's a dry spell as far as news goes. Nobody's really putting out anything too controversial, and nothing's going on yet in 2019. But this one was interesting because it just kind of came out of nowhere, and it was kind of suspicious. Activision's CFO, Spencer Newman, who's the CFO of Activision Blizzard, confirmed, well, he didn't confirm, but Activision confirmed that they terminated his contract without any reason given. They're just like, nope, contract terminated. See ya, Spence. Nobody really knows why, but then it came out that Spencer Newman was set to join Netflix as their new CFO. So the thinking there is that maybe he was, wheeling and dealing behind closed doors and planning for his move out of Activision Blizzard and into Netflix and didn't tell anyone. So once Activision caught wind of that, they kind of just been like, all right, cool, we're just getting rid of you. And Spencer Newman's like, all right, dope, I already got my next gig, so deuces.
Peace.
So nothing too controversial there, but Activision lost their CFO, and I think their like chief of staff, or I forget his exact corporate title, but they're going to be the acting CFO in 2019 until they hire someone new.
It's funny because I saw this a little earlier in the week before you posted it, Berto, and I didn't quite see that he was set to join Netflix, so I kind of thought it was like a bigger deal maybe, because I know Activision Blizzard stock has been crushed basically since I mean, all stocks in the US are kind of being crushed right now, unfortunately, but they've gone off a bit of a cliff since BlizzCon and that announcement. So at first I was like, ooh, like, because there's just all this crazy stuff about Activision's trying to cut costs at Blizzard, and how they're going to be like influencing things everyone thinks for the negative in the future. But I think this actually might just be kind of weird timing, and maybe he was just going to Netflix. You know what I mean? Maybe he's jumping ship because of stuff, but who knows?
Yeah, I agree, and I definitely think that when the news first broke that the link between Spencer Newman and Netflix still hadn't been made, so that's why people were like, what's going on? So when they terminated his contract, that still wasn't known that he was in talks with Netflix. So that's what started people speculating. And then when it came out that he's set to join Netflix, that's when people were probably like, oh, they probably terminated your contract because they caught wind that you're joining Netflix. So like you said, he's probably jumping ship amidst all the turbulence that's going on over there.
Like, Tim, do you have any faith in Blizzard still? I don't know. Because I know you and me have had this sort of like love-hate relationship with Blizzard.
I mean, I haven't liked the direction they've gone for the past like 10 years. StarCraft 2 was fun. I liked that. But even by the, like the the first and the second expansions, like I was kind of over it. And everything they've done with, I mean, I've heard that some of the WoW expansions were good, but obviously some of them weren't. And I have no real interest in Overwatch, stuff like that. So I haven't really been interested in the direction Blizzard's been in for like the past decade or so. And, you can say it coincides with their greater involvement with Activision, but I don't think this is going to change anything. But you never know. Hopefully Warcraft 3 is just the most popular game of all time.
Warcraft 3 remastered. Everyone get that. The stock will go back up.
They realize, yeah, they realize what they've been.
They could just reprint their old stuff.
Yeah. Warcraft 4, baby.
Dude, Warcraft 4, wow. They'll probably screw that up when they do it. Who knows?
Look, beggars can't be choosers.
Yeah.
They're remastering Warcraft 3. I'm happy.
Speaking of Blizzard, should I do my news thing that I put from them?
Yeah, let's go. Let's go right on to the next news item. Garrett, I think you threw this one up there.
This one's kind of weird. I assume it's going to be controversial, but who knows? Blizzard basically is going to require people who want to participate in Twitch chat during professional Overwatch arena battles, whatever they're called. Basically, people have to link their Twitch account with their Battle.net account in order to participate. Apparently, this move is being done to try to clean up the chat in Twitch, which I don't know how I feel. How do you guys feel? Like, seems like a weird move. I know Blizzard tried this in WoW, I think, a little bit, where there was it's called Real ID, I think, where basically it actually linked, your name and your account to your forum posts, I believe it was, in your friends list. So this is kind of like a similar kind of thing. How do you guys feel?
I think that trying to clean up Twitch chat is just really, just trying to fight the rain or something ludicrous like that. Like, you're just not gonna do it. Like, yeah, you can punish some people. I mean, this is kind of a thing in Overwatch, right? Like, there's a major push in that game to try and prevent toxicity and things like that. And I haven't played much Overwatch, but I doubt that the toxicity in Overwatch is any worse than any of the other big team-based games. And that's really the root of all this stuff. And I feel like Blizzard is being really naive and trying to just say, like, oh, we acknowledge our toxicity problem, but we're going to try everything in our power to address it. Like, as far as I'm concerned, and maybe it's just because I'm an old school gamer when it comes to this online competitive gaming, it's rough out there, If you're trying to get good at a game, you're gonna have to deal with this stuff. Like, otherwise, it's just gonna be a bunch of people biting their tongues and stuff like that, and it's just in hopes that they don't get banned. But whatever, if that's how they want to address this issue, then that's good. But could you imagine an actual Twitch chat for a live event with hundreds of thousands of people watching, with everybody being nice and polite?
Yeah,
What's the
I
point?
mean,
I think part of the weirdness of
no.
this is, like, even if you moderate the chat, it's still just gonna be people spamming emotes and stuff. Like, I don't know. How do you feel about this, Berto? Have you watched any, like, professional or big Twitches? Because it's strange to even think of trying to moderate something like that.
I mean, like Tim was saying, this is one of those things where it's the internet. You're trying to, your boat's taking on water, and you're trying to, like, siphon the water out with, like, a teaspoon. It would be great if everyone wasn't as toxic on the internet, and if they were trying to, like, I think they've got the right idea with trying to clean up toxicity. I don't think in theory it's a good idea, but a lot of things are really good in theory. Communism was good in theory. On paper, it made sense, but in practice, it played out horribly. I'm not trying to say that what Blizzard's doing is going to end in the same way that communism ended. In no way am I trying to liken the two, but I'm just saying that the idea of trying to get everyone to behave nicely on the internet, it's a very nice idea. It's a great notion. I don't think it's ever going to happen. The most you can hope for is that you have, at least in, like, Twitch chats, and if you have, like, an event like Overwatch League being streamed on Twitch, they have a large enough group of mods who are constantly monitoring and banning the people who are being toxic and spamming the emotes or whatever it is that they're doing to make it to ruin it for everyone. All it does take is just a handful of bad actors to ruin it for everyone. But I don't think that by adding this extra layer of, like, no, you have to link your Battle.net account, because now everything you say is going to be like, we can tailor it back to you. So if you say something shitty, we're going to know it was you, and we can ban you permanently.
Yeah.
Like, no, that's what you have the mods are for. Let your mods do their job. If you believe that everyone's there to have a good time and watch and just enjoy the Overwatch League, it's not going to be, it's not going to be it's not going to be earth breaking. It's not going to be like, log in for 5 minutes. Oh, great. Now this has become like a giant homophobic and racial slur infused. Like, it's not going to turn into like a den of savagery.
Yeah.
At least I don't imagine it will be.
I think it's a weird play. I don't think it's going to really, I don't think it's going to backfire exactly, except what they're going to do is open themselves up to people who are going to make, Battle.net accounts that they don't use, and then say something in chat, and then they'll Battle.net account will get banned. And then they'll start controversy. If that's how they're doing it, which also is kind of weird, because it's like Twitch is a separate service than Battle.net. So I find that a little weird. Also, I think the fundamental issue with Twitch chat is not like offensive language and stuff, because again, you have moderators and bots for that. It's really just volume. Like, how do you have a Twitch chat with 1 billion people in it? You know, and have any sort of cohesive, you know, discussion or narrative. I know Twitch has made these sort of channel things for that. I've never really utilized them. In my own Twitch streams, I have like a person talking maybe. So it's not something I've ever had to deal with, but it seems like a weird move. And I you know, again, it's cool that Blizzard's trying, but like this sort of, I think people are over moderating stuff. Like Smash Bros, they removed the ability to taunt online in like quick play matches. Like what? Because people's feelings were getting hurt, I guess, from taunts, which seems really weird. Which now the de facto taunt is people, they call it teabagging, but you just crouch a lot. So it's like this weird, like everyone just crouches a lot instead.
Hey,
and it's like
necessity is the mother of invention. You take away people's teabagging, and they will find some other way to teabag.
It's such a weird thing to like you put taunts in the game, and you're like, no, people's feelings are getting hurt. Like I think it's a little too much sometimes. And it's funny because like I will occasionally just crouch a couple times because I'm like, you know, maybe gonna do a down tilt. Like I'm not trying
You
to
can get banned.
No, well, I play King DDD, so I just do the lay down. Like that's if I really want to be mean to people. But yeah, it just seems
I think
a
Smash is
move.
Smash is funny. There's someone I follow on Twitter, and he posted that he was having. Well, first of all, Smash's connectivity, like the whole Nintendo online thing, is the online experience is just not good. And he had dropped his connection once in the middle of a match. He didn't just like intentionally leave the match, but he got like a 15-minute ban because of unsportsmanlike behavior after his own connection cut out. So I think they're definitely, like you said, to your point of over moderating.
Yeah, it's a weird thing, but who knows? Who knows? Last little news point. This one's kind of basic, but basically this happened right after our last podcast came out, so it's kind of old. But the PlayStation Classic dropped in price from $100 to $60. Very shortly. I think it was 1 month after release or within 1 month. I don't know if it's worth reacting to exactly. I think kind of reviews and everyone says like it's really just an inferior product. And it's something that they kind of push out. I actually got one for Christmas, sitting on my shelf as a collectible. That's all I was going to do with it anyway.
That's pretty much it.
It's cool. Like I got it as a gift. I'm like, yay, but I'm just going to emulate PS1 games instead, because like what's the point of opening it? Again, like the controllers are cool, but that's actually a decent segue into segment 3, which is basically kind of 2019 predictions, how we feel about it, etc., etc. One of the first questions I know we want to ask, Berto, if you want to take it away, but I think the PlayStation Classic counts for it. Ooh, also, we totally forgot, quick announcement, I'll announce it at the end of the stream as well. We did pick a Game Club game, our second Game Club game. I don't know how to pronounce it, but
we are gonna. I think we decided Gris, or maybe I just decided
Grease or Gree.
Gris.
Pick your choice.
Little Gris.
Gris.
Google it.
If you search for it, you will find it.
Yeah, I believe it's published by Devolver Digital, but I don't actually know the studio that's behind it.
I forget the name of the studio. I know it's a small indie studio out of like Barcelona. But it's a Devolver Digital joint, so definitely check that out. It's a really quick experience. I think Garrett was checking out the time frames, and it's like between 3 and 5 hours for, between the casual and completionist runs. So 5 hours on the high side, 3 hours just to roll credits. Really short game. And I was telling the guys just before off mic that when I checked yesterday, I think the price was reduced by like 15%, so you can get it for like $15. So if you guys are interested, go check that out. That's going to be our next Game Club game.
We will all be playing it. We will be doing it on the next podcast, possibly, or 100% actually, not possibly. So if you want to be part of the Game Club, play it a little bit, finish it, whatever. Send us a comment, ask us questions, etc. Sorry about the late announcement. I'll announce it again at the end. But Berto, 2019. Where should we go?
Where are we going? All right. So off of the back of what you were talking about with the PlayStation Classic going down in price, which, by the way, I think PlayStation should pay me to buy one of those things because they're just such garbage.
Yeah, they're rough.
It's like they should give me $60 to take that off their hands. But one of the things we want to talk about, in addition to obviously the dearth of games that's coming out in 2019, which actually I don't even think I used the word dearth correctly, but it sounds like I know what I'm talking about.
It sounded good. I'll take it.
We'll talk about 2019 games in a second, but one of the first things we want to talk about is trends for 2019. One of the trends we saw in 2018 was the revival of the first-person narrative games like God of War, Spider-Man, Red Dead Redemption 2, which even though it's an open-world game, it was pretty much a one-player focused game until they added the multiplayer later in the year. So that was one of the stories of 2018. One of the things we want to see is what are some of the things we predict for 2019? Are we going to see the continued success of Fortnite? Quite possibly, because that's a juggernaut. Are we going to see some new games step into the spotlight? Who knows? So I wanted to gauge your guys' thoughts on what you guys think is going to happen in 2019. One of the things that I think that we'll see in 2019, and this is something we already started seeing in late 2018, China has been extremely restrictive about their video game market. They ban a lot of games from ever being released. But I think late in December, there was an article I read, I don't remember where, but the headline was that China opened up the ban and there was like 80 games that they approved essentially to be released in the Chinese market. And this is like one of the biggest things to happen because one, it was such a huge amount of titles that were lifted from their freeze. And the second reason why it was a big thing was because, like I mentioned, China has been very restrictive about their multimedia market. So they were very restrictive, especially about video games. So them lifting this ban and allowing these 80 games to be released was a huge move. And I think that that's going to be continuing. That's going to continue to be a thing we see in 2019, which great because games are going to be starting to make their way to China. We can start telling these stories and people can have the experience, these video games experiences. Also a huge, huge market for developers and publishers alike. Another income stream. Possibilities are going to be pretty wild there.
Part of me thinks that there's a little bit of what's a negative silver lining? I don't know, whatever. I think it's a little bit not great too, because certain games, and I remember World of Warcraft is a big one that I remember. Basically, China has weird censorship laws for certain things. World of Warcraft, for instance, the undead player characters having bones showing was a big deal. And they actually changed certain things in future games because of that. So I do think it could be slightly negative when you are catering to what is basically a country with extremely strict censorship laws. I do know like Diablo Immortal, everyone thinks was just basically a game aimed at Chinese audiences and not catering to American audiences at all. Not that that's exactly an issue. But clearly fans thought it was an issue because you're pumping out a game with the Diablo name on it and not catering to your core fans. But it is kind of cool because it sucks that if you're in China, you can't play certain games just because the government has banned them. So I do think generally it's a great thing. I just hope like game makers don't just like ruin their games or do that just so it'll actually be allowed in the Chinese market. Because I think sacrificing, art and artistry just to make sales is not great. But who knows?
I mean, I agree. There's definitely going to be studios that don't that aren't going to sell out on their like artistic vision. Definitely your indie studios. I don't think. First of all, they don't have the studio size or the funds to localize a game for every market. So on the business side, there's that, but I don't think that an indie studio that's very passionate about an idea is going to want to change their game just because it's like, oh, wait, you have like this image of XYZ that might be offensive to some in like a certain country. You either have to change it to something more PC or remove it entirely.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see in Diablo Immortal, because I'm pretty sure skeletons is like not okay in China. That was a big thing in World of Warcraft where they like change skeleton models to like pumpkins or something weird. I don't know if that's like 100% true. I haven't done research on it, but like, how do you have a Diablo game without skelly bones? You know what I mean? Like, that's just me.
It's kind of already the case. I know that there's a lot of minor censorship that goes into a lot of things. Like, I'm pretty sure, where was it? I feel like it's either in Germany or Australia. For a while, you couldn't show blood, so they would make like blood green for certain games. I mean, this was ages ago.
That was Germany, like around Super Nintendo and stuff. I believe it was Germany. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I mean, is it really going to affect the development? Like if they just had to swap color over or change one model? I don't think so. I do worry, like you said, about the effect that it might have just on the direction. Like I don't like it when, curtailing to sensibilities of one nation or one community ruins the direction of art for everyone else. Because come on, like grow up. But it's I don't think it's the biggest deal.
Yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't come to
Honestly, big studios can usually afford localization teams and stuff, which I know has been another issue in that like people don't like the localization teams sometimes. I know I've seen some stuff in Nintendo games where it's like they put in like weird memes and stuff when translating, and it's like, why would you like they don't translate it? They like
it
make
doesn't translate
their own
well.
jokes. Like they'll put in a meme or something. Like
your base art belong to us.
Yeah, they'll like throw that in when it wasn't the original joke. But
I was playing this old Game Boy Advance Dragon Ball Z game called Boo's Fury today, and there's a Spinal Tap reference in it, and I was like, "What?"
Like,
it was like so disjointed for me.
Yeah,
they're Americans. They love Spinal Tap.
Yeah. Oh, but so another trend that I'm interested in, and sorry, it was supposed to be the segue, and then I forgot about it. The miniature console kind of a thing. I do see continuing. Like, I can't imagine that Nintendo's not going to drop an N64. Hopefully, the trend doesn't continue with this weird limited sort of an idea. Like, I honestly think if N64 releases with 20 games and 2 controllers, it'll be absolutely not worth it. So hopefully they have something where it's like controller, you can buy more for 4-player. Hopefully they have more than just 20 games or so.
Or a modulating amount of games, like add games to
like
it.
Just
like
add games. And again, Nintendo, they're the worst. So we probably won't see that. But I do like this. I do like the idea of the controllers being reprinted. Like, that's amazing. If I could get brand new N64 controllers, I'll freak out. Again, a dream scenario would be Nintendo actually does something where the virtual console kind of connects to it or something like that. That would be incredible. Because imagine having the N64 that could connect to your Nintendo account and you could buy virtual console games and put it on there. Nintendo. But instead they're probably just not going to put out virtual console so they could keep making old systems and shorting the supply and so on and so forth.
You think that Nintendo, like, they're listening right now and they're gonna be like, you know what, Garrett, we're gonna release an N64 mini, but there's only gonna be 64 of them available.
We're just gonna release it to spite you. There's one controller and it's a NES controller. like fuck off.
You want an updated N64 mini controller? Great, we'll give it to you. You know that analog stick? It's still just as shitty.
Yeah, like I don't know. Like, it's such a, to me the concept is so perfect of like it connects to the Switch. And you can do virtual console and run it off both. Like, it just makes sense, but that would be too much work. Do you guys think, like, do you think Sony or Xbox has any more plans to do this? I mean, Sony clearly screwed the pooch a little bit. Or do you think it's really just going to be Nintendo going forward?
I think it's just going to be Nintendo going forward because Sony tried to capture in on that nostalgia with the PlayStation, and like you said, they just screwed the pooch so badly with that. It was a bunch of games nobody wanted. Nobody, like Jumping Jack Flash or whatever the fuck that game was. People, when they were seeing the game list, they were like, oh, cool, Metal Gear Solid is on here. And like one other game that was like somebody was excited about, and then like 18 other games that nobody wanted. So Sony really shat the bed on that one. So I think they're going like, all right.
It's a kind of a thing where maybe they'll learn from their mistakes, or I don't know. Yeah, I do think in the future we'll only really see Nintendo doing it. I know Sega's putting one out, but they've kind of been putting those out, and they've been doing collections and stuff. And it again, I think it's really just for the controllers for most people. Like, that's what it is for me. I mean, I do it for collector purposes because emulation just beats these things. But hopefully the PlayStation will smarten some people up, though. And if Nintendo puts out something shitty for N64, nobody will buy it. I know that that's not the case, but
no, everyone is going to buy it. They're like, an N64 mini? What games does it come with? Only Quest 64? I am fucking buying the shit out of that.
Yeah. I do think 2019 is going to be not as great as 2018. I think we're going to see a lot of remakes, a lot of sequels, not nearly as much kind of like new exciting stuff. Obviously we're going to talk about the games in the future, but I just don't see it being as good as 2018 or 2017.
I agree.
What do you guys think about, like, do you think out of the big three, do you think there's going to be a clear-cut winner? Do you think it's going to be kind of a close race as far as Xbox, Sony, and Nintendo?
I don't see the standings really changing much. I mean, the way I view it is it's kind of neck and neck between Sony and Nintendo, and then in like a kind of distant third is Microsoft. I don't see any of the games that come out really swinging the tide. Maybe just like a cursory look at like the games that are coming out. Maybe like most of the games I'm kind of looking forward to are coming out on Xbox, PS4, and PC. But I don't, like I said, I don't really see the standings changing too much. There aren't enough crazy titles coming out.
Yeah, to Tim's point, I don't think there's going to be much change between who's sitting in first, second, and third respectively. I think Sony's still on top, with a close second being Nintendo, and then at a distant third is Xbox. But I do think that in 2019 they have the potential to close the gap significantly. They made a lot of moves in 2018 by buying up studios and bringing a bunch of studios in-house so that they could have more first-party releases that are Xbox exclusives. That's one thing that they lacked in 2018, were exclusive titles that made you want to go out and buy an Xbox One, because it's a lot of stuff they had. It's like, oh, cool, there's this game that's on Xbox and PS4, but PS4 also has Spider-Man. Which console should I buy? So the fact that Xbox realized they have no very good exclusive titles, and they went out and got these amazing studios, they got the message. So I think with the new acquisitions they made, they're going to start getting the first party exclusive titles that they lacked. And I think that'll help them close the gap between themselves, Sony, and Nintendo. And they also started positioning themselves already for the next console generation, which I think is going to start, we're going to start hearing, if we don't actually see the announcement in 2019, we're going to start seeing more news about the next console generation. And I think that's what Xbox is setting themselves up for. I think they've already conceded this generation. They realize they're not going to win this generation of consoles, but they're setting themselves up for the next one. I definitely think they'll close the gap this generation, and then they'll look to make the move to leapfrog everyone in the next generation.
See, I kind of think that actually Nintendo's in a really good position, and I think part of it is Smash Bros. I think is going to kind of steamroll Switch purchases more and more for the next month. I don't really see PlayStation doing anything until 2020. I know there's a lot of multi-plat games coming out on it, but I'm pretty sure Last of Us is not announced yet for 2019, if I'm not wrong on that.
Yeah, we're not seeing that until 2020.
Yeah, so you're not seeing any really console exclusives for PlayStation, whereas I do think Nintendo's coming out with some somewhat solid titles. We'll get to that in a bit. I do also think we could see some surprise announcements for Nintendo through directs on things that you wouldn't expect. I do think there might be like a Breath of the Wild sequel that could possibly be in the works and maybe ready by holiday season 2019.
If
I do
that
think
announcement comes through,
that's what I think Nintendo has this weird game plan where they don't always announce stuff right away or at E3. So I do think that Nintendo's going to really kind of steamroll a little bit and go into 2020. I do think you're right on Xbox, but I don't think you're going to see it this year. I think Xbox is going to lag and 2020 is going to be the real year for them because they bought up some studios and they have some developers, but it's just I just don't think you're going to see a lot this year. I do think the Games Pass helps. I don't know if it's going to be a system seller like they think it is. But I do think I think the biggest move you're going to see is PS4 and Sony is going to slow down hard. There's just really nothing that exciting coming out specifically for that system, depending on, announcement dates and so on and so forth. But yeah, any other trends? I do think indie games are going to remain sort of king. I think indie games kind of killed it at the end of 2018, certainly. They got into Game Awards like crazy. I do want to say that PC was extremely lacking as far as any sort of big specific PC games. But like the indie thing going on PC is amazing. Like the amount of indie games.
Oh, you didn't play Atlas? What the hell?
Oh, Atlas. I've heard things. I actually have not played Atlas or even really watched videos, but I've heard some terrible stuff.
It looks funny.
Isn't it like an Arc expansion? But they didn't call it Arc, so they didn't have to give it people with season passes.
It looks like it was released in 2003.
Woof. But yeah, I can't name one single PC game that was notable aside from indie games. Which again, I think indies will continue into 2019 as sort of like a surprisingly big force in games. Because I did think this year was also the year where we just kept seeing more and more AAA games just miss, which is kind of a good thing because it seemed like people weren't buying them, which I think that's a good thing. We shouldn't buy garbage AAA games. So hopefully that continues too.
So real quick before we go on to trends, I just want to say when you were talking about Nintendo dropping like these unannounced things just randomly during like not an E3 or formal announcements, but like in their directs, all I could imagine were like two guys like doing the announcement and then like one guy like off to the side, tell them about Breath of the Wild, tell them about Breath of the Wild. He's like, oh shit, that's right, we got Breath of the Wild coming out, and then it like cuts out.
Yeah, it's just an announcement. Like they do a Nintendo Direct and it's 20 seconds long, and it's just Reggie Fils-Aimé and he just goes F-Zero for Switch, and then they just cut it like 15 seconds, done. Metroid Prime release date, done. Like you never know.
That's all they really have to say. All if Reggie needs to come out, he's like, we have a release date for Metroid Prime 4, bitches.
It's
and then they cut it out. They're like, oh, like, shit.
That's the thing.
Bitches.
Nintendo has this sort of hype that it can do, but we'll see. Because they announce things at funny times sometimes. I do think E3 will be big announcements, but it's all going to be like 2020. And then Nintendo doesn't even go to E3, so who cares?
Personally, I think that in regards to the Battle Royale thing, I think this is the year that you're really going to see like all the Battle Royale games come out, and I don't think it's really going to hurt Fortnite as the supreme overlord of all things Battle Royale. I think it's, we've already passed the peak of Battle Royales, and now we're just going to get the proliferation of like the knockoffs, and it's already started, but
yeah. Well, that's the thing, like no one's really gotten anywhere. I know Call of Duty had one, but I haven't really heard about it. I don't think it's that big.
Well, it's just like these, like look at like Minecraft, right? Like we're still seeing all these survival crafting games coming out. Yeah. Like you're just gonna see more and more and more. And the main source game, I'm not saying that Fortnite was the first, but it's clearly the main one. It's still gonna be popular. You're just gonna see more little imitations of it and varying success, but like I said, it's I think it can only go downhill from here. In terms of games, what are you guys excited about?
Nice. I like that segue, Tim.
I'm going to edit out that 20-second pause, though.
Tim, podcast host extraordinaire.
Yeah.
So with that, so I just put a couple of the games here because obviously there's a shit ton of games that have been scheduled for release, either given a release date in 2019 or just to be announced in 2019. But I picked, I really cherry picked a lot of the bigger ones, or at least the ones that got more buzz than others. But definitely, if you guys have other ones that aren't on the list that you want to throw in there, please feel free to throw them in there.
I actually did, so I inserted some of mine in there, certainly.
Okay, perfect. So starting off in January, and what I'll do is I'll just run through the titles, and then we can spend some time on any one of the ones that you want to, hit on specifically. So some of the titles that we have coming in January this month in 2019, we got Onimusha Warlords, which is sort of the remaster of the original Onimusha, because I don't think it's a true sequel. I think it's just a remaster of the original. Then we have New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe coming out on the Switch, Resident Evil 2, the remake for PS4, Xbox One, and PC, and Kingdom Hearts 3 for PS4 and Xbox One. Clearly, two of the names on that list are the two bigger ones that people are waiting for.
I want to say there's one really that Berto's really been excited for for 10 years.
So I am equal parts excited and scared for this in the worst possible way.
So hold on, Berto. I want to ask you, when this game comes out, like, should I play it or like, I've never played any Kingdom Hearts. Like, do I have to play the first 2 and 2.2 and like all those weirdness? Like,
I mean, if you want to, you can. They're certainly fantastic games, but if you want to understand the story, which even if you had like a PhD and wrote your dissertation on Kingdom Hearts and the power of hearts and whatever, bullshit the story is in Kingdom Hearts 3, you still wouldn't understand it. There's like a 30-minute video on YouTube that does a really good job of trying to summarize everything to sort of get you up to speed. After you watch it, you're like, all right, I maybe like 50% understand it.
Okay.
And that's more than enough. That's like more than most people.
So
but
maybe I'll do that and purchase the game, or you think I just should not?
like if you want to play the game, definitely jump into Kingdom Hearts 3.
Okay.
I can be the guinea pig and let you know how good or bad it is and tell you, we'll definitely buy it. And then I'll also send you that video so you can catch up on the story. And then after you watch that video, you can, text me or send me a message in Slack and be like, what the fuck is up with this story?
Fair. It's just something I know you're so excited for it. I'm not, to be honest, but I figure I might join in with you.
I bought a PS3 for this game, thinking it was going to come out that console generation. So this game skipped an entire console generation. My wife and I were talking about this the other day, and it's been like 13 years between the numbered release.
So Berto's clearly excited for that one. I know the other one, Resident Evil 2, the remake. I know all three of us are timidly
Oh god, yeah, we're
excited for it. Is anyone not Tim? I want to ask Tim because I know Resident Evil 2 is like one of your most favorite games. I want to say
for sure, yeah. I mean, it's up there with my favorite Resident Evil games, which is one of my favorite series. And I feel probably similar to the way you do, Berto, about Kingdom Hearts. Obviously, there isn't as much riding on it with it just being a remake of a game, but I'm hopeful, and I'm obviously gonna play it. Like there's probably maybe 3 games max a year where I'm like, oh, I'm definitely gonna play that, and this is on that list for sure. But we'll see. Resident Evil 7, like what people generally call it, or just Resident Evil, which is what it's officially called, was a nice return to form, in my opinion, even though some parts of it were a little lacking, and I think it would have shined better if it wasn't attached to the Resident Evil universe. But it was a good display of what they could do with modern technology and still get the feeling of what made the early Resident Evil games so good. And if I've looked up very little about it. I don't really know too much about how the game's going to play, but as long as it's up to that standard, and it has all the content from the second game, then I'll have a great time. So hopefully it works out, but never know.
Are you nervous at all? Because I do think the camera angle is not. I don't believe it's like a GameCube remake where you have the fixed backgrounds.
I didn't expect that. I really didn't. Like, as much as I would like there to be fixed camera angles and take that style, I understand that modern gamers are babies and can't handle things like that. But other than that, I'm sure it'll still be.
Yeah, hopefully they have the tank control option allowed instead of just changing it.
Unfortunately, this is
one
of the games. This is one of the games that I didn't get a chance to demo at E3 last year. But if it's any consolation, Tim, and it to give you some comfort, I think it won like Game of Show at E3. So
that's pretty surprising, actually, considering it's a remake. Onimusha, I've never played Onimusha at all. What is that?
Me neither.
Oh, neither. Berto, have you played it?
It's really fun. So you're this samurai warrior named Samanosuke, and you have like this gauntlet, and it's like set in feudal Japan, and feudal Japan is like it's beset by demons, and you have like this you have this power to slay the demons, and like you essentially absorb their souls into this like Oni gauntlet. So it's kind of like a hack and slash. There's a little bit of like a survival element to it. There's also a little bit of like that Resident Evil, pick up this item, store it in your box, you use it later.
Is it like gameplay wise? Are we talking like a Ninja Gaiden kind of action RPG? Or are we talking?
Yeah, I would say it's more of like an action RPG. But when it first came out, it was definitely in the style of like Resident Evil because it also had like the fixed camera angles. So
interesting.
Yeah, but it was really fun. I remember playing because they had 3 numbered releases for this. And the third one wasn't as great, but it was still really fun. This
is a remake of the original game?
Yeah.
Okay.
From what I understand, it's supposed to be like a remake of the original one that came out for I think it was PlayStation 2, like in
Okay.
the early aughts.
Cool.
So, really fun.
I'm tentatively excited because I always like going to series that I haven't played before, certainly. But we'll see because I've never actually I've heard the name, but I've just never. It was a PlayStation title, and I just didn't have PlayStations for a while. So, I gotta be honest. I put New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe on there, not because I'm excited for the game because I already played it, and not really because I'm excited at all. Because I have you guys played any of the new Super Mario Bros. Games at all?
Yeah.
Like a couple minutes of it, maybe.
Like they're fun, but I hate them. Is that weird? Like
I think it's absurd that they're remaking a game from like 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
But they've been doing
It's a remake
like,
from the game you got on the Wii U.
But the Switch is like
month,
that.
The same month that Resident Evil 2 gets remade, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe.
They couldn't even name it right.
Yeah.
But that's like Nintendo keeps doing this where it's like, oh, this game was popular on Wii U, but nobody bought the Wii U, so we'll just re-release it on Switch.
Yeah. Everyone has a Switch now, so put it on the Switch.
Which sucks because games like Wonderful 101 has not been remade for Switch, and that game was such a charming game for Wii U, but I don't think it would sell that well on the Switch, to be honest. But yeah, I put this on there as just like all right, Nintendo, like New Super Mario Bros. Is fun, but it's kind of soulless. Like you just churn out this weird art style Mario game that you could just like put on the virtual console with 8-bit graphics. It'd be great. But I don't know. I also, if you haven't played the game, it's worth playing. It's a lot of fun. It's just good 2D Mario. So I don't know. But I'm not excited. I just thought it would be fun.
I also think it's funny that we're now like seeing the negatives of these Nintendo games that have new at the beginning. It's like
yeah, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, which means it's bigger.
Not new anymore.
It should be
just
called
take new off the front of it.
What if it was old,
old,
new,
like old Super
new
Mario Brothers U Deluxe for the Switch PC edition.
But Nintendo's been having this issue forever. Like new 3DS, the Wii U, like they just can't name stuff for some reason.
No, but I remember at the time going like, this isn't always gonna be new.
It's gonna be old one day. Because they had like
10 years from now.
Luigi Bros. What was it? What was the Luigi one that was New Super Mario Bros. But it was like crossed out and it said Luigi somewhere. I don't know, whatever. That's I think if I remember that. Yeah, who cares? February. Let's move to February.
All right, going into February. Fuck Super Mario Brothers. You're not new. Looking down the list in February, some of the notable releases we have: Crackdown 3 for Xbox One and PC. Finally, Metro Exodus on PS4, Xbox One, PC. Anthem again also for PS4, Xbox One, and PC, and Far Cry New Dawn also for Xbox One, PS4, and PC. The one game on this list that I am really excited for is Anthem because it looks like a fun, good time. It looks like going to be a return to form for BioWare. The game looks legit. Like you get into these exosuits and it makes you feel like Iron Man because you can fly around and shoot like weapons, like missiles and shit, and it just looks like really polished. Every time I see trailers and releases for this game, it looks like it gets better and better. I don't know what the story's going to be like, and I don't know what the interaction's going to be like, because I know BioWare is very good on like the character interaction and the choices and things like that, so the branching narrative type things. They haven't shown much of that, but I'm already hooked and on board for what they've shown me. So that's the game that I'm most excited for in this list.
I don't know. I don't think there's a single game on the list that I'm excited for February. Anthem, the one exciting thing I will say about it is it's an online co-op game, or it looks like it's going to be, and generally those are worth playing for me if I can find someone to play it. So if Berto, if you jump in, I'll probably jump in.
Yeah,
you know, it's kind of like the what's it called, Destiny. Like I played Destiny with buddies and it was fun. Yeah. And then I gave up. Like, I'm fine doing that. I imagine Anthem's going to be the same. Metro Exodus, I've played some of the Metro games. They're unique enough in the setting, but, like, it's just a basic first-person shooter. I've never actually finished one. I've played 2 of them, and I'm just like, I don't know. Like, sometimes first-person shooters I just don't find interesting if all you do is shoot. As weird as that sounds, Crackdown 3, is anyone excited for anymore? That game's been
I
delayed
know
a billion
some
times.
people are.
I say out of this 4, it's the one I'm excited for the most.
Actually, that might be true.
I'm not particularly excited for it, but at least it's like it's self-aware. That's why
Yeah.
I mean I used to complain about the GTA games like around circa like 4's release because I felt like they were overrated and they took themselves a little too seriously. And I always looked at Crackdown 2 and I was just like, oh, like at least it was kind of like Saints Row, that type of thing. At least it's self-aware and it's just all about having fun. And
Yeah. And to be honest, those type of games are a lot of fun. Like they're worth playing. It's the kind of thing I don't think I would dream of buying that game on release. I'll probably get it on like
I won't either.
a Steam sale or something like that.
I'm not
play it
gonna
if
buy
I
it day and
don't
date.
Yeah.
Like
Far Cry hasn't excited me since 2.
1.
Yeah.
And 2 was bad, so I don't know. Like
1 was great.
yeah.
I'm
Those are
not-
games, again,
yeah.
you get them for $5 on Steam sale, and if you have nothing to play, they're worth playing. I believe this
And
is a direct sequel to Far Cry 5 was the last one?
I think this is what I think it is. Sort of a direct sequel ish. And it's not a direct sequel. It's like directly related somehow. So
Yeah.
it's adjacent to 5, maybe.
Okay. But yeah, I don't know. That's Ubisoft. They have like 5 studios, so they just rotate studios and print out games every year. And it's just like,
It's like, which studio did we have? Who did the last Far Cry game?
Yeah.
Okay, you guys are next. You guys are on hook for a new Far Cry.
yeah, that's what's funny. Like they actually have 3 to 5 year development times, but they rotate studios so that it's like every year here's a new Far Cry and a new Assassin's Creed, and nobody wants it. Apparently people do because they sell. So I don't know. February, I'm not too excited. Anthem could be cool. I'm hoping it's cool, Berto,
Anthem,
but I'm a little.
Yeah, same here. Anthem is like I'm excited for Anthem. I think it has potential. So it's just a wait and see. They'd have to do something really heinous with the game when it releases for it to be like, oh, this is not at all what I thought.
I mean, I bet you
Which-
$1,000 there won't be enough end game when it comes out,
I
because that's how all those games go.
was about to say, yeah, there's gonna be like a 60 gig patch that you got to download on day one.
Yeah, you're gonna play it. You're gonna get to max level and be like, "Oh, what should we do?" And there's gonna be nothing to do for like 4 months. So that's how those games go.
Oh crap! The game looks hella good, but there's absolutely nothing to do.
Yeah. March.
I hope
Let's go
that's
to
not-
March.
We got Toe Jam and Earl back in the groove. PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Switch. Devil May Cry 5. PS4, Xbox One, PC. Tom Clancy's The Division 2. Also PS4, Xbox One, and PC. And Seiko Shadows Die Twice. PS4, Xbox One, and PC.
I believe it's
What do you
Sekiro,
guys-
by the way.
What?
Isn't it Seiko? It's Sekiro, I think. That might be
Sekiro?
a typo.
I am.
Sorry.
Then I totally misspelled that.
No
Sekiro
worries.
Shadows Die Twice. What are you guys looking forward to out of this list, or is there anything else in March that I missed?
I think that this month, out of all, disregarding the ones that don't have specified months, I think this is the month I'm the most excited for, mainly because of the 2 titles, Toe Jam and Earl, which is probably not going to be good, but
Yeah, that's a tough one.
they got me. I'm gonna play it. It's gonna happen. And Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. That's another thing. It's like from Software, it's like they kind of like got me for life. It's like some of their titles, like the later Souls games, haven't been as interesting for me. But I'm gonna play them all because I love Dark Souls so much. That
I think the thing about even the Souls, even like 2, which is 2 and 3 are not the best. They're still like really good games on paper.
Yeah,
they're just not Dark Souls again, unfortunately. But like Bloodborne was Dark Souls again for me. So like I don't like
Bloodborne was dope.
anything from Soft. I'm pretty much into. I don't even play their RPGs and stuff, but I've heard great things. So I kind of agree with Tim. Toe Jam and Earl, I feel similar. I think it'll be not fun because how do you recapture that?
I mean, it probably will be hot garbage, but I think it's just Toe Jam and Earl, and it's
worth a
gonna be
shot.
fun hot garbage.
I'll play it. Probably get salty about it, and then I'll play through the original again and be like, this
like
is Toe
back. Yeah, that's what
This
it.
is what I
Hopefully, it
was
has
looking
online co-op. That's honestly the
I
big
think
thing
it.
for
I think
that.
it will.
Yeah. Oh, it will. Okay. Hopefully.
I think it will. Yeah, because I think this is one of the games. I think I played this at PAX East last year.
I saw it at PAX East, and there was a demo, and I did actually play it, but it wasn't. I don't know if it was just like on a weird level or something, but I was like, all I did was walk around. Like, I was like,
it was
I didn't open a
the
present
one that
or
they had
anything.
at the demo at the because this was at the Adult Swim booth, right?
Yeah, I took a
Yeah, I
picture
think
with Big Earl. I remember.
yeah, I did. I think I did the same thing.
Okay.
I think that the level that they had for the demo was just a really really weird demo level. So it might not have been the best demo, but it played well.
Yeah, I mean, I walked around and he walked around.
I mean, the walking the walking was great.
Yeah. The art style looked really rough to me, to be honest, too. It kind of looked like a Flash game. I know it's from Adult Swim Games, so like maybe that's it, but who knows?
Yeah, going for that.
Devil May Cry 5, I don't know how I feel because I've only really played a little bit of the Devil May Cries ever. I've never really played more than a couple levels. Do you guys have any experience with those games, or?
I've played the first. I played the first 3. I tried. I did the demo for DMC, which I regret not playing the full game because I heard that one was really really good. And then I think the 4th one was the one where you don't play as Dante, but you play as that guy Nero with the weird arm. I played like 5 minutes of that, and I have it on Xbox. Whatchamacallit? I have it on 360, and it's kind of collecting dust somewhere.
Yeah, not to an amazing degree, but I played through a good amount of the first one. I played through a good amount of, I believe it was the 4th one. I'm not sure. One of them, it's on my Steam account. I need to check. And I played through a little bit. I never finished one of them, but I played through a little bit of DMC, and I even like that. I thought the art style was stupid, but I mean the gameplay was very solid, and that's what it comes down to. If you want a nice, challenging beat 'em up, that has like a nice, stylish art style, very similar to like what I imagine Bayonetta is, because I haven't actually played it.
Yeah, I have Bayonetta 1 and 2, and I've never played them because I just don't think of them.
That.
Like,
those are just supposed to be really good, but we'll see.
We'll see. Tom Clancy: The Division 2, I'm actually tentatively excited for, just because the first one I played through with Chris, and I had a great time playing through it. I mean, once you got to the end game, it was awful, not entirely unexpected, but I had a great time. Like the regular story missions, just playing through co-op was a lot of fun, and the beginning of the end game where you're kind of doing these hard challenges to farm for loot, and they're actually fun and they take coordination. So I can't imagine it being worse than the first one. Hopefully it's better, especially in the end game. But I actually had a lot of fun with this game. It was kind of unique in just that it was like New York City, and it's an RPG where you're playing as like realistic, like, like just a guy with a gun, which sounds weird, I guess, but it had like ridiculous enemies. Like there was a league of sanitation workers that had garbage disposal men, and firefighters were one of them and stuff. Like it was kind of goofy, but I actually liked the game. April, I don't know. Nothing in April, it looks like. MK11? Is anyone excited for that?
Yeah, it's MK11.
They had me with MK9. They lost me with MK10.
I think they're just pumping them out too fast. Like, is that weird? I don't know if that's how games work.
MK9 was them going, hey, like, remember how good MK was in the 90s? Like, the reason why people still talk about it? Like, how awesome is that? And then MK11's like, okay, like, here's our new stuff that we're going to add into the universe. And it's just, we don't care about that. That's what sidetracked the originals.
And that's what's weird. Like, they got Injustice going too. And it's like, okay, just pick one and like release it every 5 years. Like, that's how I feel.
The rest of the games that were confirmed for 2019 but haven't been given a solid release date, we got.
So Battletoads, right? This is a Toe Jam and Earl situation all over again.
Exactly.
It's exactly that. And like I put here, like I even put my on some of these, I put some notes where I'm like, nostalgia makes me want to love this, but I'm sure I'll hate it when I realize how crazy hard it's going to be. But there should be an addendum that says also how terrible it is.
It's, what's funny is like, I don't think it's got to be hard to screw up the Battletoads formula. Like if they just do Battletoads again and have online co-op, I'll love it. Like
it's not going to be that hard. I'm calling it.
But yeah, I have a feeling it won't be hard enough. I have a feeling they're going to add some stupid stuff to it that is going to ruin it.
It's just going to be a generic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game with
probably
Battletoads slapped on to it.
Oh my god, if they do you guys remember for the Xbox 360 they did that Turtles in Time like reboot remaster thing that was absolutely terrible?
Yeah. Like wasn't it worse? Like didn't it actually like it played differently and it was worse than the original game?
Yeah.
Like
it was so bad. I bought it and I'm like, I regret buying this.
You know what's funny is Battletoads, like the re-release, I feel like they were trying to appeal to nostalgia, but the nostalgia they were appealing to is people who called GameStop and was like, "Do you have Battletoads?" Like not actual like fans of the series.
Yeah.
Like
It's like the Shaq Fu thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the Shaq Fu remake, which again, like maybe these games could be good, but like who are you appealing to? Shaq Fu is considered terrible. Like so
it's appealing to a meme. That's it.
It's appealing to a meme.
I mean, they even marketed it that way. They're like, listen, we know this is terrible.
Yeah.
We know the original was terrible. This game is not as terrible.
Yeah, we'll see. Warcraft 3 Reforged.
Oh, you guys,
We know how I feel about this.
Go ahead and nerd out about this.
It's so funny because like I'm so excited about remakes, and it seems weird to be excited about remakes, but the possibility of the online being revitalized for Warcraft 3 excites me so much. And I think that's most of your excitement, Tim. Like the single player would be cool to play through.
I don't care about the new graphics. I just hope it revives the scene a little bit. I mean, from what I've heard, you can play like cross-compatible with the old version.
Oh, really?
Makes
Interesting.
sense. And I think that's the case for the StarCraft remaster, because you can like seamlessly switch between the remastered graphics and the old graphics, which I'll probably continue to play on. Because I mean, the new graphics look nice and all, but like
they look a little wonky.
They do, and I don't need any like. I want to play with old graphics. Like they're not so old that they're hard to look at.
And they're kind of charming because some like the lip sync is hilarious, like where their chins are just like whomping around all over the screen and stuff. I do think it's a little like Blizzard has been doing this thing where their art styles just blending into this one like template for every game that they put out, where it's like Diablo looks like WoW, WoW looks like WoW, StarCraft looks like WoW. And now Warcraft 3 Reforged has like WoW graphics, sort of, but like they look a little absurd. Like they're
everything is WoW.
That's what it feels like. And so I'm not that excited about that. But apparently they're changing single player a little bit. They're adding some cutscenes. They're changing some character dialogue and stuff. So hopefully it's for the better, but most likely it'll be for the worse because it's WoW. It'll just be WoW again. We'll see. But the online coming back to me is amazing. Hopefully all the custom games come back. If it does somehow incorporate with Warcraft 3, that'll be amazing because all the custom games will already be there. So yeah, get Warcraft 3 Reforged, you dummies. If you haven't played it before. That's you, Berto. I'm talking to you.
Yeah, no, I picked up on the subtext there.
Yeah, all right, gotcha. Another remake, but not exactly a remake. Catherine Full Body, which has been announced for PS4 and Vita. I hope it comes to PC. It's actually adding a new, I think like a third of the game is going to be new. I'm not entirely sure.
Isn't there like a new Catherine?
There's a new Catherine. There's weird controversy about it because people think it's going to be, this is a really weird thing. They think it's a transgendered character. The only reason they think this is because when they show her, like, I guess the main guy, who I think his name's Vince or something. I forget his name.
Yeah, something like that.
He wakes up next to her and like looks down and is really shocked. So there was outrage that he would be shocked that he slept with a transgender person, even though they haven't said it's a transgender person yet. Like it's got weird controversy already.
You mean the internet got upset over something that they misconstrued?
That is essentially at the moment made up. We'll see. But that game's a lot of fun, so I'm tentatively excited for it. I'll probably get it.
Yeah, you jump around and push those blocks looking like a sheep, dude.
Yeah, but then again, I don't like Tim. Are you excited for this? I know you liked Catherine, but like it's kind of a weird remake.
I love Catherine, but I don't know why they're changing the story. It makes no sense to me. I just think it's strange. Like I thought that the story was perfect already. I don't know why they're taking this opportunity to like add in all this stuff that like. I mean, I guess I have to hold judgment until I play it. But you know, I was very content with the state Catherine was already in, and if you want to remake it and re-release it, I'll buy it again. And I shouldn't, dissuade companies from putting new content into their games when they remake it, but I just I'm a little confused about that. But I can't really judge it until I play it. But
it is also a weird game to remake instead of just do a sequel for. Because
exactly like
the graphics,
one of my favorite games of like the past 10 years, I think.
Like the graphics don't matter in that game, and most of the cutscenes are animated like 2D.
Yeah,
so it's kind of weird. But hopefully it's good. I don't know. It's weird that they just wouldn't make a sequel to me, but
right.
Maybe they just didn't think a sequel would have enough content. I don't know. Berto, you put Final Fantasy VII on here?
I did. The long awaited remaster, remake, whatever you want to call it, episodic now. I put it on here tentatively because I'm still not convinced it's gonna. I think it's never gonna be released. I think they're just telling this to string us along. We wanted, Final Fantasy VII, exact same game, but with PS3 graphics. But we didn't get that, and we're like, okay, just give it to us with PS4 graphics. And they're like, all right, we'll give that to you, but episodic. And we're like, no, that's not what we asked for. They said it's coming out in 2019, so we'll see. I think it's bullshit. I don't think we're gonna see it in 2019. Prove me wrong, Sony. Prove me wrong, Square Enix. I'm not.
Someone correct me on this. I remember hearing during Final Fantasy 15's release that they were gonna remake it so that Final Fantasy 7 had like the same combat system sort of thing as
the lead on the game said that they weren't gonna say no to using that system in it or something like that.
That's what it was.
They didn't,
you're right.
If the game's like that, then there's no way in a million years I'm gonna touch it.
Yeah, there's no hope for that game if it is like that.
Absolutely. I think that's one of the worst combat systems in any game I've ever played.
Yeah,
but that's just me.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not excited for it at all.
It took some time to get used to.
I never played Final Fantasy VII. I tried to play it, and I just couldn't. I think I put like 3 hours into it, and I was so thrown off by the graphics that I couldn't handle it. Like, I didn't know. I guess I didn't know that they were little like chibi characters in the overworld, and that threw me off really bad. I don't know if that's fair of me to say.
Did you play it when it came out or shortly after, or did you play it like within
not
the
even
last,
close.
like,
I played it on PS3 like probably 8 years ago or something like that.
So it's one of those games where if you didn't play it when it came out in like 97 or shortly thereafter, like that's when you really had to have played it to get in on it, because if you play it anytime after that, the graphics in that game just don't age well.
That's why I'm hoping that if they actually just kind of upgrade the graphics and that's it, that I would actually be interested, because then I could...
Well, yeah, and that's why people were like, just same game, don't change anything, make it graphically better. That's it. That's all you have to do, and we will buy it. And they're like, all right, we'll do that, and then we'll, give you episodic releases with a new combat system. We're like, no, motherfucker, we did not ask for that.
Gears 5 is on here. Anyone excited? I don't know.
I think I didn't play Gears 4, and I'm like a huge Gears of War fan. And the reason I didn't play Gears 4 is obviously because I don't have an Xbox One or a PC, so that's why I missed out on that. But I think Gears 4 was like, it was a fun game. It's solid. If anything, it's entertaining. It was like a 6 out of 10, nothing earth shattering. Gears 5, I think, has the potential to change the Gears franchise the same way that like God of War did for the God of War series, where it can completely revolutionize it if it's done right, or it could just be a title that keeps it the same mediocre, it's another mediocre release. So I think Gears 5 has potential, but it's kind of like a big question mark at this point.
I'll probably end up getting it just because I know I have a lot of people who have Xboxes in my friends group that I play like Rocket League and Halo and stuff with, that I normally wouldn't really get this game because I played Gears 1 co-op and that was fun, but I've found them extremely generic. Like, I don't know if it's the graphics or something, but I've just never really been interested in them. So it's something I'm not exactly excited for, but we'll probably end up playing. Tim, have you played any of the Gears games?
Yeah, I played the first one and I loved it. It's not like earth-shattering gameplay, and the whole cover-based combat really got old around that time period. But it comes down to the co-op experience.
You played a co-op, okay, yeah. So if they have co-op online, I'll be in. That's how I feel like. But they probably won't, because I don't know, game companies are stupid nowadays. I put this game on there. I don't know how to pronounce it. Noita? I don't know. Noita. This game actually was announced, I believe, at E3 2018 on the indie showcase. It's in early access currently. Their release date is when it's done. So hopefully it's this year, but who knows? It's basically a 2D roguelike in like a very pixely looking, think of something like a Terraria or something like that. Okay, but the big selling point is every single pixel is part of the physics engine and can be impacted. You play as a little wizard guy, and if you throw a bomb, pixels will light on fire, or water pixels will be displaced and stuff. It actually is getting a lot of acclaim and stuff behind it because it is playable at the moment. I do think I've heard that it destroys your PC for a 2D game though, because like I guess the physics of it is just like so nuts. Just something I want to throw on there. It looks kind of cool. I think it could be a cool Games Club game eventually.
All right, definitely.
But I don't know if you guys have heard about it. I am excited for it because I like roguelikes, and I love indie games. Usually, I just get excited about them. So
First time hearing about it, so I definitely will check that out as soon as I get a PC.
yeah, that might help. You might need a good
definitely-
one too, apparently, for this game.
Oh yeah, definitely. All right, so once that all happens, I will check out Noita.
Sure.
Nota. Yes.
Tim, have you heard anything about this or no?
I have not. I don't always have my finger on the pulse of like the early access market, but like you, I'm a pretty big fan of roguelikes, so we'll see. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna get it in early access, but if
That's
it
the way
re-
I felt. Like if they release, I'll get it. I try not to get early access things anymore.
I tried not to, but I still get so many. So you know.
That's fair. I mean, it's if you're excited about something, it makes sense, I guess. But I just find that when I get early access games, I stop playing them before they come out, and then
Before they actually release.
yeah, so it's just weird. Luigi's Mansion 3 for Switch. I'm actually really excited for this because apparently it's a return to form of the first game. I
Oh,
love
was
the
second
first
one
game.
bad?
The second one wasn't bad, but it was this weird, like, level-based sort of a thing. I actually couldn't get into it. I played it for a couple hours, and I was just like, it just took you out of it so fast. Because you would, like, hang out with EGAD, you'd go to a level, do, like, an objective, and then, like, go back to him. And it just felt like levels, and I hated it for that reason. But I think it was reviewed pretty well. I might not have given it enough time, to be honest, but... if it's anything like the first game, I loved the first game on GameCube, so I hope it's like that.
I mean, if you're a couple of hours in and you didn't like it, then I feel like that's enough to make a decision. It's,
Yeah.
I can't
Did you
stand
play
when
through
games are
this
like,
game, Berto? Did you play this game?
I haven't played the second one. I played the first.
second one is what I meant.
Yeah,
Okay,
I haven't played. Yeah, so I'm in the same boat. I played the first. The first, absolutely loved that one. I didn't know about the second one having this sort of like hub world.
Yeah, it
you
was
know,
on
start playing
3DS, and again, it might have like opened up, and I just didn't give it enough time. But like, it just took me out of it. Doom Eternal, I believe is planned on 2019, but I'm not entirely sure on that one actually.
Yeah, more Doom ain't bad.
More Doom ain't bad, but I don't know. You gotta wow me. I enjoyed the new Doom, but I had some big issues with it. And if the length wasn't so short, I think I would have ended up hating it. Just because the level design and fights just seem like it's like, okay, puzzle, arena. It felt like BioShock Infinite to me, as far as like level design, which is not a good thing. I love the music. I love the guns, and the enemies were pretty good, but we'll see. I don't know. I really hope they kind of do, like, go for the labyrinth levels of Doom 1 and 2 a little bit more. They kind of have these big open areas and then arena fights. So hopefully if they improve on that, I'm excited for it. But that's my biggest issue with New Doom was that feel of just, puzzle, room, arena fight, repeat.
Very like you could predict what's coming next. Basically, you're like,
Yeah.
I know what's coming next.
Like, oh, I entered a room and there's no exits and there's a thing in the middle. Like, I'm gonna fight 20 enemies and the music's gonna kick up. But hopefully, if they fix the level design, I think it'll be great because I did enjoy New Doom a lot.
Yeah, it was those glory kills were awesome.
Yeah, like the glory kills actually surprised me because I thought they were gonna ruin the game, but it actually like enhanced the flow of gameplay a little bit.
Yeah, agreed. Spelunky 2?
Spelunky 2. Has anyone played Spelunky? I've heard it's amazing. I never played it.
Spelunky is really fun. It's you like procedural generation, and it's done very well. It's super fun. I enjoyed my time with Spelunky, but I didn't find myself going, oh, you know what I want? More Spelunky, like another game. I know, and that's just me. I know people were crazy about the first one, and they're super looking forward to this second release, but I was just like,
it's weird because I think the reason I wasn't excited for Spelunky and haven't played it is because at the time I was playing a lot of like Binding of Isaac and all these roguelites and all these procedural generated games, and I was just like kind of like, I don't know, I'm just not excited for procedural generation anymore.
I'm procedurally generated out.
Yeah. Tim, did you play the first Spelunky?
I did not. Same thing. I heard really good things about it. and it's not too dissimilar to a lot of games that I like, but never got around to it, and so I can't say I'm excited for the new one, but you never know.
In a similar vein, Super Meat Boy Forever was announced. I'm not excited for that. I don't know. Super Meat Boy was fun, but I kind of was just like, okay. Like, it was just a platformer when we hadn't had platformers in a while.
Yeah, it was a timing thing.
Yeah, and it was like right at the beginning of the indie wave, so it was just nice to have like an indie platformer. But now we have a million, so
I think it was a game that hit at the right time. And looking back on it, I think that Celeste does the Meat Boy formula better than Meat Boy does.
I was actually going to say that. Like, Celeste just felt like a better Meat Boy to me.
Yeah, because it was like it was difficult, but it was like fair difficult, whereas Meat Boy felt like it was being difficult just because they wanted to fuck with you.
I don't know. I don't think I ever finished the first game, but I remember there being there was like a bonus of all the stages and stuff, so I don't know if I ever finished it. Whatever. Untitled Goose Game.
I am excited for this.
I'm so excited for this, and it doesn't look good. Like, it just doesn't.
I'm so excited, like, for reasons that scholars would not be able to tell you why, but it looks like such stupid fun.
Like, you just honk at people. You're a goose. I don't know. Is it
I
a puzzle?
I
assume it's a puzzle game.
It's a. Well, here's the thing. I pulled up the entry in Wikipedia, and it says Untitled Goose Game is a stealth game in which players take control of a goose. The goose can walk, honk, flap its wings, and reach out for items. It's a stealth game? What?
I thought it was like going to be a puzzle game. I don't know. Tim, are you excited about this game? For me, it's pure
I have no idea about this game.
Oh, okay.
I think I'm okay with that. Cool. Goose,
I think a good 60% of my excitement is that they called it Untitled Goose Game.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like a duck game, right?
It's not like what?
Like duck game?
What's duck game?
You never played duck game?
Am I playing the duck game right now?
No.
Okay.
I'm not just messing with you or anything.
That's what
it's a real game.
I don't think so. Maybe I played it.
Duck game. I mean, it's like a 4-player. Like, it's an indie game. But it's just like really short, quick, battle royale type. Not battle royale. That's a bad term. Like, it's kind of like, how do I describe it? Like, it's a 2D, like 4-player, battle game where, like, you know, there's like guns and stuff, and all the battles take like, they can be over in like 5 seconds. There's like a bunch of different levels and all sorts of customization.
Like that.
Very simple, just like crazy hectic, you know, like combat game. But I assume that Untitled Goose Game is not similar.
No. Well, I don't know if it looks like a stealth game. I guess so. From what I remember, you're like a goose and you just run around and honk at people, and it seems to ruin their day. I thought it was gonna be a puzzle where you like have to ruin people's day in the good way.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but apparently it's a stealth game, so we'll see.
Because you're like in the bushes and you honk at a gardener and his hat falls off and you grab his hat. Like, is that a stealth? That's not stealth.
No, because I did hear about this game.
By honking, you give away your position. That's like the opposite of stealth. But
well, maybe he didn't see you and he just heard the honk, so you stole his hat because you needed his
crazy
hat.
Aussies.
I did hear about this game.
Yeah, it's some 4-person indie studio in like Australia. These crazy Aussies.
Again, I think it's mostly the title that excites me, and who knows about the game. Yoshi's Crafted World for Switch. I put this on there. I'm actually very excited for this. Yoshi's Woolly World was amazing. And I think it got overlooked. Was that on the Wii U? That's probably why it got overlooked.
Yeah, that's why it got overlooked. Yep.
It has co-op, which is a lot of fun. The art style was incredible. And it kind of reminded me of Yoshi's Story a little bit, which is one of the games that I really loved on N64. People were like, "Oh no, there's only 6 levels. It's too easy." Replaying that game, it's not that easy. You can die pretty easily. One of the issues with Woolly World was it was a little bit too easy, especially in co-op, because you could kind of, like, if one of you died, you just float to the other person kind of a thing.
Yeah, I do.
So I don't know. I'm excited for it. Like, if it's anything similar to Woolly World, I'm into it. I don't know if you guys have played that game, because I think I'm the only idiot who bought a Wii U, but...
No, you're not the only idiot. My wife also has a Wii U.
Oh, wow. All right.
So we played Woolly World.
Oh, you did? Okay.
We did. We did a co-op, and then we tried doing the special levels, and we're still together, even though we tried doing the special levels.
The special levels are fun though. Like I don't know.
Not
I
when you do
enjoy
them in co-op. They're really it's
It's
frustrating.
tough.
trying to
It's
do
a
it.
little
Like,
tough.
you have like the one person who's really good, and then you have me who's like lagging behind.
That's fair. I don't know. I enjoyed it. Hopefully the next one will be good. New Animal Crossing?
I don't understand this game. Do you guys? If you guys
Have you
could,
played
like, if you
them?
guys are fans, I played the mobile game on the
Oh.
phone, and
Oh, no.
I get like a.
No, that was
And
bad.
it's like I create like, oh cool, I have a room, and there's this eagle dude who's talking to me, and he's talking about how he has these weird feelings for me, and I'm a little uncomfortable now. But people swear by this game, and when I tell them, okay, why is it fun? They're like, oh, you get a cool house, and then Tom Nook sells you a house, and you got to pay a mortgage, and then you get to fish and stuff. I'm like, okay, so it's real life.
Yeah, but it's
I
real
do
life with
that all
cute
on-
animals. Are you missing that part?
Like, it's literally what I put in the notes. I'm like, you buy a house from a raccoon, pay for a mortgage with bells. This is called life. I do it all the time, except I don't have money for a down payment, so it's not like life
Yeah,
because
but
you
the
could
cute
afford a house. in this
animals,
game.
though. You're forgetting about
Yeah.
cute animal friends. That's the most important part.
I have cute animal friends too here. They're fat cats.
It's not a game you can really sell on paper. It's just you got to sit down and play it and just get into it. I mean,
Why
the
did you
one
get
where-
New Leaf, Tim? Because didn't I have New Leaf, then you got it, then my Nintendo didn't go online or something? So,
I mean, I was roommates with my friend Ben at the time. And
Ben, yeah.
And there was some small multiplayer things, but it's just, I mean, if you could pick one word to describe it, it's cozy. It's just like a cozy game. You know, you sit
Yeah.
down, play a little bit every day, just do a couple things, and it's very relaxing. The ambiance is really nice, and cute animal friends.
Yeah, cute animal friends. It's a weird game because the most fun part about that game is when you're waiting for the next day. Because you're just excited that the next day is coming and you're gonna get like a present or somebody's gonna move in. It's hard to explain, but it's a great game because you can, like, the max you could probably play it is like an hour, unless you're just doing something stupid in it. So it's like you just play a little bit of it, like 20 minutes a day is like perfect. And then like you'll be like, oh, somebody's moving in tomorrow, and it'll be a cute animal friend, and then it's exciting.
Cool. I'm getting a new tenant, and he's an Esquilax.
Like, yeah, it'll just be like a weird nonsense. It'll be good. You're gonna get it. You're gonna love it. Trust me.
I'll take your guys' word for it. I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a shot and see, and see if living life digitally is any more fun than it is in real life. I mean, it is more fun.
The campground one was miserable. That was dumb. That was bad. I played that one on the phone, and they basically
deleted it immediately.
Yeah, they took all the fun out of the game.
All right, I'll give it a shot for you guys.
Give it a shot for you.
Yeah, do it for you and the cute animal
and for the
friends.
cute animal friends.
Because they'll move out if you don't. So keep that in mind.
Oh, they'll move out.
Yeah.
Oh,
you
that's
don't
the other
lose
thing I
them.
heard. If you don't tend to your shit, don't they just like? Doesn't your house just go into like disarray?
Yeah,
and it
there's
just looks
cockroaches.
Yeah, I'm never touching that game, the old one again, because I don't want to
Yeah,
deal with the ramifications
and
of my
weeds grow
absence.
in your garden. You don't want that.
Oh, so I can't do that. I got to take. I might not have a real house, but at least I'll have a digital house that I could pay a mortgage for.
Yeah, and then it gets bigger.
Tom Nook is a crook.
No,
That's what I hear.
He's a good guy.
I hear Tom Nook is the devil.
What do you mean he lends it? You don't even need good credit. He'll lend you stuff.
He gives you a mortgage with no credit whatsoever. But if you look at the fine print, that interest rate is astronomical.
No, there's no interest, dude. It's just like $200,000.
He lends you that money on like 30% interest.
Like, go get some Beatles and sell them. You'll be fine. I hope they just increase the online components. I hope the online gets better for that game. That would make that game a lot of fun if online was truly like fleshed out. I think that's it for games. That was all the ones I saw.
As far as we know, I mean, there's going to be, I'm sure, tons more games that we could talk about and shit on later. But for now, that's the list we have. So a couple of good games, a few good games that I'm really excited for. Some that I'm super scared for. Kingdom Hearts 3.
What about Untitled Goose Game? Game of the century. Game
of the year, Untitled Goose Game. I'm calling it right now. Staking staking my flag for when 2019 December rolls around. I'm going to be arguing hard for Untitled Goose Game.
What's the game you're most excited for? Name one.
Most excited for Kingdom Hearts 3.
Tim?
I'm gonna go with Warcraft 3 Remastered.
Okay, mine's Resident Evil 2 Remastered, just because I never really played the first one, so it'll be an entirely new experience for me. So.
It was a toss up for me between those two.
I figured I was gonna just pick whatever you didn't pick, so don't worry. Also Untitled Goose Game, why not? What else? Is there anything else? 2019.
2019. Let's It looks like it's gonna be a fun year. Not as good as 2017 or 2018, but still a good year. So let's take a look and see. We'll definitely play all the games in 2019, and yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what comes out on top. One more thing that I do want to mention while we're outroing for 2019, the split screen Synics will be making their way to their very first PAX East. Well, I mean, not individually. We've probably all been to PAX East, but as a group,
as
we
sort
are
of
going
a
for
team.
the very first time.
Tim's out.
So, what?
Partial group.
Partial group. Tim's out, but we got two of us.
So we will be there at PAX East. So to those of you who are listening, if you're going to be at PAX East, definitely look us up, come by and say hi.
Oh, that'd be
we'll
wild if like one of our 6 fans
I know he's
was
like,
there or
if
something.
somebody like, oh my god, I listened to you guys. We're gonna be like
who?
"You shitting me?
No, we're split screen Synics. You're looking for those guys.
Like, are you like? Wait, are we on? Like, are we in somebody's line that you're? He's like, no, I'm here to listen to talk
Yeah.
to you guys. We're like, holy shit.
But yeah, that'll be fun. I assume we might do like a live episode. Maybe bring some recording equipment.
Yeah, we're
drink some
definitely
beer.
gonna bring some equipment. We have the we got a place to stay. It's like a whole like I think it's like a duplex or some shit, but it's got tons of room. It's got like 3 bedrooms, lots of space, so we can set up our recording equipment, and it's gonna be a good time. And like I said, you guys are at the show floor. If you guys are there, look us up. We're gonna be on the socials, letting you guys know what booths and what demos we're checking out. So come by and say hi if you see us in Boston on March 28th.
Yeah, that'd be wild. Oh
Yeah,
my goodness,
dope.
we got to make up like a shirt. We'll just draw engraved on there or something. Like we're gonna like
But just get a like shirt and just like iron on SSS.
yeah, just and hopefully people will notice. Who knows? But yes, one last reminder:
Yes.
Split Screen Cynics Game Club. Game number 2 is going to be Grease, or Gris, or Guris, depending on how you pronounce it. Little indie game that's getting some hype, some stuff. Relatively short, so we should be able to finish it in 2 weeks. Hopefully you guys have played it or whatever. Please send us a comment. Probably the easiest way is on Instagram, but if you know us, reach out to us in other ways. Tweet, I guess on Twitter would work. You could tweet at us.
Yeah, you can tweet at us also.
But yeah, I think Instagram's probably like I might do a story. I'm new to stories. We'll see. But yeah, this has been episode 17, I think.
Yeah,
almost at
wow,
20. That's crazy.
We're getting up there.
And yeah, if you want to check us out, splitscreencynics.com, Split Screen Cynics on Instagram, no double E's. We're also Split Screen Cynics on Twitter, I believe.
We are. We couldn't fit it all in. There's a character limit.
That's fair.
They give you 200 characters to tweet now, but they can't give you extra for the screen name.
What are you gonna do? Split screen, no ease.
Yeah.
If you want to catch me, I'm gonna be on twitch.tv/Garrett Gets Into. If you can time travel, I'm gonna do it tonight. But that's a weird plug because this is recording and date of whatever doesn't work. Berto, you want to do some shout outs or plugs rather? I don't know.
I was about to say, I'm like, shout out to my homies. You can catch me on I'll be the one and only on pretty much all the socials. ALBIETHA, the number 1 NONLY. You can check me out there. I'm always also on the Split Screen Cynics Twitter account. So if you want to get us through, you can get at me through there. Drop us a comment, like Garrett said. Definitely play Gris, GRIS, however you want to pronounce it, and let us know what you think there. Tim, where can we find you on the internet space?
You can find me. I'll be streaming tonight on twitch.tv/Garrett Gets Into. I haven't decided when I'm going to be playing tonight, but just drop me a follow.
Dude, play me in Smash Bros. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I hear Fox is good in this one. You can play Fox. Apparently, he's getting first place at some tournaments.
Huh.
So that should maybe excite you.
At least until they rebalance it.
Yeah,
I'll see if my
nice.
viewers want it. We'll see.
We'll see. Who knows? So that is it.
I'll ask my chat.
That's not fair, Tim. We could bring back ooh, I just punched my mic. What was our was it just Tim and Garrett play games?
It was like get into
Oh,
it.
get into it. And then I stole that for myself. We could do that sometime, Tim, you know? All right. But whatever. Episode 17. If you're still listening, what a mistake. Thank you so much. Keep
We love
on
you.
gaming.
Peace.
Bye.
Later.